Squarespace or WordPress is one of the most popular questions I get as a web designer. So today I'm going to help you figure out if you should use Squarespace or WordPress for your website. If you're new here, my name's Jess and I'd love for you to subscribe. I help business owners save time and look good online. And today I'm going to break down a few differences between Squarespace or WordPress. So make sure you stay till the end because I'm also going to give you some examples of different businesses and which platform they should be using. There are a lot of different functionalities that we could compare between the two platforms, but as a web designer, the one thing that I start with when I'm helping my clients figure out which platform they want to use is let's look at your budget and how tech savvy you are. Because in my opinion, it doesn't make sense for you to have a website that you don't know how to update or can't afford to have someone update for you. So if you are not as tech savvy, I would probably recommend Squarespace. Or if you are someone who probably can't afford to have someone make updates for you or customize the website platform for you, again, I would have you choose Squarespace. It's not that WordPress, and specifically we're talking about WordPress.org, is impossible to learn, but it does have a higher learning curve. But it also really depends on which theme you are using. A lot of people think, oh, WordPress is just super confusing, but it really depends on what theme you're using and what kind of backend builder that theme has for you. A lot of people also associate like, oh, I have to know coding or CSS to use WordPress, and that is not the case with all themes. So let's look at some other comparisons between the two platforms. One thing that a lot of people ask about is the functionality or flexibility of the platforms, and that is where WordPress.org wins. You have unlimited possibilities with themes and plugins and all the different things you can do on your site. Now that's not to say that Squarespace doesn't have any flexibility, but there is a certain point where Squarespace is limited. But on that note, a lot of developers have really started to show up in the last few years with different Squarespace plugins that you can use on your Squarespace website to enhance the functionality, the design, and a lot of different other things. Now, these aren't actual plugins like WordPress plugins. They are code snippets that you can just copy and paste into your website. An important thing to remember, though, with all the WordPress functionality is that that comes with a lot of responsibility to keep things updated. If you don't keep your theme and plugins up to date with each new release, it can cause some problems on your website. It's not that hard to do this. You literally click a button that says update and you're done, but you do have to do this very consistently. A new feature that Squarespace has that WordPress does not is Squarespace email campaigns. So you don't have to go use MailChimp or ConvertKit. You can have your email and website all in one. Personally, I'm not a fan of this. I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I'm not a huge fan of all-in-one platforms because what if the server goes down? You are without your email and website for a few hours or a day. Now, moving on to one of the hottest topics when it comes to Squarespace versus WordPress is SEO. And again, WordPress does have more SEO functionality and better control over that, but I used Squarespace for 4 or 5 years and ranked on the first page for my keywords, so it's not impossible to have good SEO with Squarespace. Now, going back to the question of how tech savvy you are, let's talk about the help resources for each of these platforms. Squarespace has a whole slew of webinars, tutorials, and you can talk to their help desk. WordPress, because it's an open source platform, does not have a central help resource center, and you 99% of the time need to talk to the theme or plugin developer. There is a WordPress.org forum, but you have better luck reaching out to the plugin or theme developers or joining a Facebook group for that particular theme. So let's talk about some examples of different businesses and what I think they should choose for their platform. If you are a photographer and you just want to have a place to have galleries, a contact form, lists your packages and pricing, I think Squarespace is a really great option. Really, if you're any business that is just needing a home, about, services, here's a way to contact me, maybe even selling a few digital products, I think Squarespace is the easiest route to go. For another example, let's take a gym. Maybe you have multiple locations, you have your membership, maybe you have some online classes, you have online resources, things like that. You would definitely benefit from using WordPress. I mentioned earlier I used Squarespace for several years, but I moved to WordPress because I wanted more of the advanced functionality like tripwires and having a course and a membership built into my website. I did not mention pricing in today's video because it is comparable between the two platforms and the pricing also changes a lot. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Be sure and give this video a thumbs up and I will see y'all next time.